Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 91 of the James Layton Fitness Podcast. So, in today's episode, we'll be discussing whether you can actually gain body fat on low carbohydrates. I think this is probably one of the biggest misconceptions within the fitness industry. It's certainly something that will be holding you back. The reason why I bring this up is I've had a few recent emails of late of people who have been basically following a low carb approach but not achieving any great results. And when I actually looked at their food intake, I could just see how high their dietary fat intake was. And that is probably the biggest thing you need to realize here. Even if you're having low carbohydrates, it doesn't necessarily mean you'll be in an energy deficit. Remember, we need to be in an energy deficit to achieve fat loss. So you need to be burning more calories than you're consuming over a period of time. So as such, if you're having low carbohydrates yet you're over consuming dietary fat intake, which is what I've seen from a few examples, you can be in a position where not only are you not going to lose body fat, you can even be in a position where you're in an energy surplus and you'll start gaining body fat. So it's just critical to realize that you don't just associate low carbohydrates with fat loss. You need to associate the energy deficit with fat loss. So don't think you can have as many fats as you like, because otherwise you can be in a position where you wipe out the energy deficit, and even worse, that you can actually be in a position where you actually are in an energy surplus and start gaining body fat. Additionally, it's really important to realize that an energy surplus is an energy surplus, regardless of whether you're low carb or not. You need to realize that calories do count. So therefore, even if you're low carb, you can still gain body fat. Additionally, another big misconception people have is they believe that insulin is the main cause of fat gain, and therefore they're under the assumption that carbohydrates cause insulin, and therefore if they eliminate carbohydrates, they eliminate insulin, and therefore they eliminate fat gain. Not so. You need to appreciate that protein is also insulinogenic. So therefore, if you're having sufficient protein, which you will be, you'll be getting some insulin spikes throughout the day. And you need to appreciate that insulin isn't a bad thing. All it is just a natural response by the body after consuming carbohydrates or protein. This is not the cause of fat gain. You need to realize that it's the chronic energy surplus that's the cause of fat gain. So don't think, I eliminate carbohydrates, I eliminate insulin. Not so, because protein is also insulinogenic. So here's a couple of key points just to remember. A caloric surplus is a caloric surplus regardless of whether you're low carbohydrate or not. So don't think you've got a free pass in terms of consuming dietary fat intake when you're on low carbohydrates. Secondly, appreciate that that protein is also insulinogenic. It's not just carbohydrates. And remember that insulin is just a normal response from the body after consuming carbohydrates or protein. Focus on actually what counts. With your goals fat loss, focus on actually creating that energy deficit to achieve fat loss. So hopefully you found this useful. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. If you're still yet to download my free ebook, How to Set Up a Nutrition Plan, if you go to James Layton, Layton fitness.co.uk, you'll see a tab at the top of the page and you can download that immediately. I look forward to speaking to you next week. Thank you very much.